Hello, folks, and welcome back. In this next section, we're going to look at more complex uses of the query selector function that we saw in previous sections. So now I've gone to bbc.co.uk/food. So this is the BBC Food website, which is just a list or a directory of loads of different recipes. A super good website. So scrolling down to rhubarb and apple crumble, you can check out some of the content on this web page. But the other thing I can do is I can inspect as before. So this time I'm using BBC's website, but there's no reason why I can't go down, hit inspect, and then I can use Chrome DevTools to inspect the document object model that gets generated by the browser when this HTML is loaded into Chrome. So scrolling around through here, I could look at the main content. I could also have a look at some of these things down here. So what you're seeing here is a bunch of list items, and indeed what we're seeing is that every single one of these list items has a particular class, and the class is recipe-ingredients __ list item. We can see that class in here. So then, given that we have a DOM with a bunch of objects or list nodes with a particular class, it might be natural to ask ourselves, can we grab or can we access all of the elements in the DOM that have a particular class? Indeed, we can. And we can again appeal to documents.querySelector_all in order to do this. So if I clear, I could say documents.querySelector all, like so. Document.querySelector_all, and what am I going to be passing as an argument here? Well, before I was just passing in arguments like h1, h3, and things like that, just the name of the actual element, the tag name, we should say. But here, I want to look up by class. So this is where we go back to our knowledge of CSS selectors. So if we're talking about class, and if we're talking about CSS selectors, the way we would say that is with a dot and then the name of the class. So here, we're going to look for dot and then the name of the class, which is recipe-ingredients. So dot recipe-ingredients _list dash item. So let's just review this expression. Document.querySelector_all, find all of the DOM nodes or all of the DOM objects that have a class of recipe-ingredients -- list -- item. It's very critical that we have the dot here, which indicates that we're querying by a class. If I hit enter, now I get a node list again with all of the different LIs with that particular class name. Wonderful. Cool. How about method? So this time we have recipe method -- list item -- text. So we could also do the same there and query those by class as well. Awesome. So finally then, seeing how we can do this with class, is there another way to select elements as well? Well, we could also do ID. So remember that in a document or in a HTML page, ID should be unique, and we can query this by using a hashtag and then the name of the ID. So let's try and see if we can grab hold of the main content element. So documents.querySelector. Cool. If I do main content, I get null. If I go back to elements, to remind ourselves that the ID is main -- content. So in a CSS file, we're using CSS selectors, we have to say hashtag and then the name of the ID. This is going back to our query selector knowledge. So here, I can put hashtag, and I hit enter, and then I can access the main content or the element with the ID main content, like so. Awesome. Cool. So I'm going to pause there And we're going to head over to the next section.